big portobellos. We're going to marinate those. We're going to put them into a burger with some lovely provolone cheese, and in the end it's going to be the ultimate vegetarian indulgence. So with this burger, we're going to put our mushrooms into a bun. Now there's two types of buns that you can use. The first one, which hasn't been cooked, we're going to put it into the oven, and that'll take about 20 minutes because those are already par cooked, and what they are is they'll be lovely crispy burgers. Now the other type that I have is a pre-cooked one. Now I find I've travelled all over the world cooking, and if you're in America, people might like that softer bun that's already cooked, and if you're in Europe, people seem to favour that crunchy one. So we've got the option, you cook whichever one you feel happiest with. Now I'm going to take those cooked ones off, and we're going to put our two crispy ones into the oven. Now they should take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. So the first thing that we're going to look at are our mushrooms. Now these are Portobello mushrooms, and you'll usually find that they're about 8 centimeters across at a maximum, and sometimes a little bit smaller. Now to clean these, there's two options. As you can see, these ones are very nice. You want to try to avoid any dark blemishes, any watery bits on the skin. And I find if ever you did get a really bruised mushroom, you could just look for that little ledge and peel the skin back like that. And you could take all that skin off. But what we're going to do, because these are beautiful and fresh, is we're just going to leave them exactly as they are. Now with mushrooms, you never ever wash mushrooms. If you wash mushrooms, they're going to absorb that water, you're going to put them into your pan, and they're just going to stew away, and that's not what we're looking for at all. We want the beautiful, really nice caramelized texture on the outside of that mushroom. So if you want to wash it, just get a nice damp cloth and pad it. You just want to take the small amount of dirt that might be remaining there, so you just pad it dry. Portobello mushrooms really absorb flavour nicely, so we're going to try and marinate them and get as many of those nice flavours in there. Got some garlic to start off with. On the bench, crush it like that. And when you crush it, that skin will come off in one easy action. Couldn't be any easier than that. So we're just going to chop that nice and fine. Take your time. Very good way to mask the smell of garlic. If ever you have that garlic breath and you want to get rid of it, there's a little bit of chopped parsley. Just chew on a little piece of parsley. So in that goes. I've also got some nice chopped shallot. One nice chopped red bell pepper. I have some balsamic vinegar. Now use the best quality balsamic vinegar you could have. You'll find lots of different balsamic vinegars. The older it gets, the more expensive it is. So the next thing that we're going to add is some wonderful fresh basil. Now I've picked these leaves off the stalks, and as we always do, we're just going to lay them on top of each other like this. And this has the effect that instead of chopping one leaf at a time, once we layer them all up and roll them like a cigar or cigarette, you'll be getting the effect that you chop them all nice and thinly in one smooth action. One more nice twist to add, and that's a lemon. Now, I first discovered this dish when I was in Italy, and the best lemon to use is an Amalfi lemon. They're the big ones that have the piece of green sticking out. If they're not available, a regular lemon will do. And in it goes to that marinade that's really starting to take shape now. Just like that. We just bring that marinade together. We're going to turn our mushrooms upside down, and those gills that you have there, the marinade is going to spoon over there, and it's just going to soak down into those mushrooms nice and slowly. So on it goes. Make sure you divide it evenly between all the mushrooms. The last one. So I've got them in like that. And the last thing I want to do is have a lovely little extra virgin olive oil. I'm just going to drizzle a little piece of that over each mushroom. Now we're going to set those aside and we're going to allow all the flavours to start intermingling, and I think that process will take about 20 minutes. So now that the portobellos have finished marinating, we're ready to cook them. I'm going to bring them over and light my grill on a nice medium heat. The beauty about this dish is it's just as home here on the grill as it would be outside on the barbecue. Now I can check into my oven just before I grill my mushrooms, and I can see that those lovely burger buns have crispened up beautifully. Give them a tap. Yeah, they're cooked. Now what I have here is a little herb oil. I made this up this morning. It's great for grilling anything from portobello mushrooms to a little fish. I've got a sprig of rosemary, a sprig of thyme, and just some crushed garlic. The same way we crush the garlic, just bang it and put it straight in there. So what I do is I just paint the bottom of my pan, and what this ensures is that we've got a nice even distribution of the oil. We really don't want to make these too greasy. I think they rely on that nice clean flavour. So I'm going to grill them nice and slowly. In they go. You can hear a small sizzle there. And what's going to happen is as that heat slowly transfers up through the mushrooms, it's going to meet the marinade coming down that we put in earlier, and there's going to be an explosion of flavours in there. So my mushrooms have been cooking away for 3 or 4 minutes on that nice low heat, and if I just have a peek under there, I can see that they're starting to take some colour. So what I want to do is I'm just going to get a nice piece of tin foil, and I'm just going to place that over the mushrooms. And then we're going to turn that temperature right down to the lowest possible heat. And those are just going to slowly braise away with those incredible flavours. And that next process should take about 7 or 8 minutes. And when that's finished, we'll be ready to build those burgers. So I'm getting those great smells coming under. They've been in there for 7 minutes. And I'm just going to have a little peek. And those look perfect to me. If you're not sure whether they're done or yet, just feel the edge and you can see that it's a little bit tender. Those are looking incredible. Now there's one last luxurious touch that I have to add to these burgers, and that slice of provolone cheese. Now that cheese is going to melt nicely down into those burgers. And I was just thinking to myself, these are perfect for vegetarians, and I'm just going to pop that tin foil back on. If you're cooking in the oven, put it back into the oven for 30 seconds. We're going to leave that there, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn the heat off, because there's enough temperature underneath there to just slowly melt that cheese. And in the time that cheese takes to melt, I'm going to start getting my bread ready to finish the burgers. So what I'm doing is I'm just running my knife through those nice crispy buns. I have to say I really prefer the crispy ones over the pre-cooked ones. It's just got that lovely texture, and that's going to complement those burgers perfectly. So now at this stage, if we go back and peek under here, you'll be able to see, aren't those just the ultimate vegetarian? Now, vegetarian food has that stigma of maybe being a little bit boring and you wouldn't eat it that much yourself. I think anybody would enjoy those. So we just, with a little spatula, transfer them over to our plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those into my buns, and then